Gentlemen, the new season is at long last upon us, and today will be our guide for the season of the Seraph. Let's jump straight into it. Upon logging in, you will be greeted by a cutscene before taken to the first mission, which is straightforward and not too difficult. However, there are a lot of story implications when you're sent to the helm to speak with Clovis Bray, who has been put into an exoframe. When you get to the helm, there will be a room to your right, and he will actually give you the seasonal artifact known as the Seraph Cipher. In addition, he will provide you with the consumable or resonant amplifier in the seasonal quest known as More Than a Weapon. After getting everything from Clovis, turn around and talk to Marisol through the hollow projector. She will give you the quest to get to the heist battleground on the moon and finish it. Heist battlegrounds, by the way, is a brand new season activity for the Seraph season. Heists are pretty straightforward. Kill a lot of enemies, deposit items in other places, but since the game explains it well here, we won't really get into that. The only thing you need to be absolutely certain about is to stay away from the Warmind Tower lasers. They will instantly kill you, believe me. The main thing about those lasers is that you just have to break the line of sight. So even if you pop a Titan barricade that breaks line of sight, you will be fine. Another excellent way to determine whether or not you're safe is the countdown on the left side of your screen. This will indicate that you've been spotted, and when the countdown reaches 0, use your imagination about what happens next. The heist playlist will not be accessible via the node in the helm directory. After loading up and completing one of these heists this time, in addition to other awards, you will now receive 250 Kikos from the chest at the end of the heist. In order to complete the next quest step, you will need to obtain 500 Kikos in total, which are essentially earned by completing any activities throughout the systems. I don't have the exact number on this, but the public events gave me like 204, then heroic was like 240 or something. And when you do it, whether it's a PvP matches in Gambit gave me around, let's say 250. And the next step of the quest this time around, champions will be present, so make sure to equip some artifact mods. But once you open a Seraph chest at the end, which spawns right next to the basic chest, you will complete the quest and get the next one. Now you have to complete Operation Archimedes, which you can find in the helm directory in the bottom right of the screen. It's called a Warmind launch facility now, and this is not a matchmade activity, so you're either going to go in alone or you're going to bring some friends. Granted, it's not that hard. It's a mix of mechanics from the heist and of course the old Wrathborn hunts from the season of the hunt. And I will say that it is easy to get lost in a Warmind bunker with multiple directions to go, but if you just follow the arrow, you'll get to where you need to go. Next, you're off to the helm again to speak with Anna Brave via the hollow projector. And again, the narrative really gets fleshed out here. Then we'll get to talk to Clovis. Then you'll proceed to listen to the radio message, and that's it, guys. This is going to be the weekly rotation for the season of the Seraph, and we'll be getting more and more to this narrative each and every single week. Now, let's talk about the exoframe guide. Clovis Bray, exoframe, the helm is where the upgrade system exists for this season. I'm pretty sure most of you know the drill by now. It's pretty much the same system as every other season. 3 rows of upgrades that each require certain items to unlock. Now the items this season are called exoframe modules, and you can only get them from completing weekly seasonal challenges, so essentially 2 per week, give or take. Now the rows of these upgrades this time fall actually under 3 categories: focusing upgrades, efficiency upgrades, and infiltrator gear. Focusing upgrades are what's going to let you focus engrams specifically into high stat roll armor and give you Seraph Umbral energy, which is the currency this season for focus. Now I do want you to take note of the 6th upgrade in this role called Focus in Deep Sights. This is an upgrade that will allow your first Ikelos weapon or season of the Seraph weapon to be a deep sight. The 5th upgrade called Focus in Double Perk gives your first Ikelos or season of the Seraph weapons you focus each week an additional selectable perk. Granted, I think most of us just care about crafting these things, but yeah, that's an option if you're looking to get a roll right out the bat. Now efficiency upgrade will help you get more currency faster, so things like Kiko, Seraph gear, as well as deep sights. Now the 2nd upgrade actually grants you a deep sight resonance weapon that you don't have the pattern for on your first Seraph chest opening of the week. The 6th upgrade also increases the chances of getting a deep sight weapon that you don't have the pattern for from the Seraph chest. Now, the infiltrator gear upgrade actually requires certain quests to be completed, and none are obtainable as of week 1. These 3 upgrades are tactical armor, which allows the bypassing of traps and reduces the damage taken from lasers and laser beams in heist battlegrounds, and the mission operation Seraph shield. Security clearance, which allows interaction with terminals to open locked doors in the heist battlegrounds, and the mission operation Seraph shield. Now this is exceptionally beneficial as this can be used to gain an additional PDT refraction core outside of the sub-vault mines. And in extreme ordnance, this allows the spawning of a powerful power-up that refreshes all abilities and grants a damage bonus against Death Tongue core stores in heist battlegrounds, as well as send observers and in the mission operations Seraph shields. Now, I do want to kind of dive off into the deep end, into the red border guide, because most of us want to craft these Achilles weapons, and they do look very promising this season, especially with the possible hint that we can get back into Warmind Cell builds for this season. We'll be able to obtain weapon patterns for the Achilles weapons, as well as Season of the Seraph weapons, which also look very good. Now, we think that you have a chance to get red border weapons of both Achilles and seasonal weapons actually from the highest battleground activities. Granted, in the past we've seen that the RNG for this is actually very bad, so we do kind of have our hopes up for this. Now, the highest deep sight weapon, the highest deep sight upgrade will net you a red border Season of the Seraph weapon upon opening your first Seraph chest of the week. You can also get 2 deep sight weapons via the rank rewards at Clovis rank 7, and it's actually going to be an Achilles deep sight weapon, whereas rank 13 is going to be a Seraph deep sight weapon. Both actually guarantee weapons you don't have to pattern for. Keep that in mind. Now, it looks like the main way to farm for Achilles red borders this season is by using the resonance amp consumable that you got at the beginning of the store quest line. This device requires 4 resonant stems in order to combine them to create a resonance frequency. Now, you remember the Rasputin diamond nodes that used to play classical music? Or for the people that remember when we had Mars trying to get the sleeper stimulant exotic and getting that catalyst, think of that. So it's essentially exactly the same thing. Once you get 4 resonance stems, you can now use the amp to combine them together, giving you a resonance frequency. Now, this frequency will be an item in your consumable that gives you the location of a Rasputin node. For example, Europa crossing outpost wall, then you go to whatever location it's describing, and you will find one of Rasputin's nodes. And upon opening it, you'll get one of the 4 Achilles weapons with the chance that it will be a red border. Now, I'm hoping that the RNG won't be terrible, and we saw from Season of Plunder, people kind of get fatigued at how poor the RNG is. So fingers crossed, and I'll hope we get better drop rates, which hopefully is going to be this season. Now, the questions remain: what is the best way to farm these resonant stands? Heist chests, doing Crucible, completing strikes, and of course gambit. And all these activities seem to drop around 2 to 3 stems per run. Also, you can farm Kikos actually via the Witch Queen story mission method that we literally have been using now for a couple of seasons, but you can only carry up to 2,000 Kikos at once. So it looks like the very best way to farm red borders is going to use the Witch Queen story mission farm, aka the investigation. When you're using the investigation, you want to hit the 2,000 cap very quickly. It's going to take you around, give or take, 4 to 5 runs, because each run gives you 635 keys. Then you run the new heist activity and open both chests at the end of every single run until you run the key codes. Then you convert the resonant stems to override frequencies and then proceed to go hunt down these Rasputin nodes. This method seems to be the most efficient way. You have the chance to not only get red borders from the Rasputin nodes, but also from the base chest and from the Seraph chest at the end of the heist battleground from now on. Thank you all for coming out and watching the videos. As always, like and subscribe if you guys like the content and want more videos like this.